Hello, this is Randy Smith. I'd like to go through some of the new features around batch entry that were released in our version 4.13. I'm going to be talking about some changes to batch entry related to restricting lots by bin, adjusting line item placement on a batch, moving a line up and down on a batch, some additional functionality we've added for barcode data collection related to warehouse management, scanning, putting finished goods on hand and automatically backflushing packaging. And then also a couple of new enhancements or features that we've added specifically to the NAV community. So with that, I'm going to focus our attention on batch entry. Let me go ahead and open up the batch entry screen. And I want to first talk about some capability that we've added around lots, being able to pick the appropriate lot based on the bin that you're operating with. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a batch ticket that I want to record raw material usage against. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and consume some raw material on my batch in the procedure section. And I want to consume some raw materials. Now, one of the things I want to point out is that first off, I'm bin tracking this inventory item, this raw material, and I've got a number of bins that I can pick from. In this batch, I want to tell the operators that I want them to pull it from this particular bin or go look in this particular bin. When I go and select lots, whether I enter a quantity in issue now or not, when I go to select lots, we always in the past have shown all lots, no matter what bin it is located in. There was no filtering associated with the bin that was supposed to be used or prescribed on the batch ticket itself. So in this case, for the line item that I'm recording raw material usage, I have put in a bin number, and that's what I was pointing out a minute ago where I had a bin number on the batch ticket. The system now can act like it always did, in other words, show all bins, or it can restrict to only showing lots that are specifically located in that bin number. So in this case, I'll go ahead and consume my quantity that was in that lot, and I've now got the appropriate lot that is tied specifically to that bin being entered for this batch. The next piece that I want to talk about is being able to move lines around on a batch ticket. So I'm going to open up a batch ticket and let me bring up one with a number of ingredients listed on it because that's the part that's the most relevant here. In formula entry, we've always been able to move one line and move it around into the formula, but we weren't able to do that in batch entry. Now with version 4.13, you're now able to select a line and then the movement icons, the arrows appear, and I can now move those up and down. And this is specific to a batch number. It is not changing the master formula, but rather just for this batch, I can now say I want to add this ingredient down in this order. If I want this to be a permanent change for subsequent batches that I do, I would want to use the existing functionality that we've had on formula entry and go make the change at the master formula level. Next, I'd like to talk about adding a functionality to the web service, which is the software on the server that controls the posting of transactions from a barcode system. So we made it more efficient and easier for barcode data collection. What was reported to us from some clients that were on barcode data collection was that while we were putting finished goods on hand without any issue, when it came to the containers that were associated with that finished goods, we were making their life a little more difficult. And what I mean by that is in the user interface, we support the ability to backflush packaging. So in this case, go to my second line here, where I've got two packaging items associated with one finished good. So I've got a can and a lid. What was being presented to us was that the user, when they enter into the user interface, let's say they enter a 10 here, the system can be configured to automatically backflush or automatically assume you use the same quantity or the appropriate quantity of containers. That has always worked in the user interface. However, in with barcode data collection, the web service, the application that the barcode system actually talks to was not working that way. What it was doing was when you enter a quantity of 10 to put it on hand, it was not backflushing the packaging and requiring the barcode system to also tell the system what packaging was used. This helps streamline the process of consuming packaging based on the finished goods you're putting on hand, and it brings it also in line with the functionality that we have in the user interface. So that's really applies only to our barcode data collection clients, and it's related to our web service. Finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about is functionality being added for really our NAV clients. Up until this release, it was not possible to use barcode data collection within the NAV environment. We've now had a few clients that have asked for it and have implemented barcode data collection, and we now support the ability to record raw material usage as well as finished good production by the use of a handheld unit. So while I don't have a handheld unit here to demonstrate, it is the equivalent of coming in and entering quantities in the issue now and hitting the post button, as well as on the end item or the finished goods side, entering a complete now and hitting the post button. All that can be done now from within NAV. We have also supported in the NAV community the ability to track lots, to be able to select, when I said lots, I meant bins. We now have the ability to select bins and work within bin numbers within the Vicinity user interface. That is for a NAV implementation. That's always existed on the Solomon and GP environment, but now in the user interface, it now supports the bin configuration. So you can turn on bin tracking in NAV and also have that come over to into the user interface within Vicinity. So if you're a NAV user, we've added the bin selection and also added some barcode data collection capability as well. So that's it for the batch entry effects of version 4.13. We look forward to your feedback and hearing how we can help your process in the future.